This ain't no rum with condiments, son. These are cupcakes from Richmond. Hello, folks of the internet. Today it is time to eat some cupcakes. Now I'm going to find out who makes the best cupcake in Richmond. These are the 6 places that I found within easy driving distance, and I'm kind of right there, smack dab in the middle of the city. Cupcakes have fallen a little bit out of vogue lately. They were huge when that Kerrytown Cupcake series was doing their thing, where there was competitions on TV about who can make the best one. And now I'm going to say, the cupcake has fallen out of favor for perhaps the macaron. I think that's gained a little bit in popularity where cupcakes have died out, but places are still going strong, and you can never go wrong with a little personal-sized cake. Now, personally, if I had my druthers, I think that the cake pop has taken the cupcake to even higher levels. But that's another video for another time. I do love cupcakes, and my favorite one is the red velvet cupcake. I love cream cheese frosting. The cake I could give a hoot about, because as long as there's a delivery system for cream cheese frosting, I'm all on it. Now, where did I get these cupcakes from? They're not all red velvet, as you can see, because not all of them had red velvet. So I got what we had. This one right here, this one up front, is from West Hampton Bakery. It is a dipped cupcake that appears to be dipped in chocolate. This one right here is from Kerrytown Cupcake. This is from Pearl's Bake Shop. The little one in the middle here, this is from Moe's Mini Cakes. They have regular size one as well, but considering they advertise themselves as mini cupcakes, we went with the smallest one they had. This is a cookies and cream cupcake from Tipsy Cupcake. I'm afraid to hold it up because it's very heavy and very dense. Their appeal is they do boozy cupcakes. I think she said that this cupcake has a 5% ABV, which considering cupcakes usually have a 0% ABV, is quite a lot. And then finally, this is not a cupcake, this is a muffin from Whisk. They did not have any cupcakes on hand. You have to order them in advance. I didn't know that. I also would assume there's some sort of a minimum. And it wasn't about to get a dozen cupcakes, but I got a raspberry and cream cheese muffin to see how it even competes with a cupcake. The cupcake, you would assume, is superior to muffins on the dessert hierarchy. And without further ado, please pardon their appearance. I put them all in a bag and I dropped the bag as I was coming in. So, this is not how Pearls ices their cupcakes. This is Pearls plus gravity. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start with the red velvet ones first, and then we're going to move on and see how we do. So starting off with Kerrytown Cupcakes. Now this one is in Kerrytown, as you might imagine, and they were dancing when I got there. They were playing music and dancing. There were good vibes all around, and so apparently that gets you bonus points since I left in a very good mood. If a dance you will make, a good review for your cupcake. I don't know, I'm working on it. But we start. Okay, so what am I looking for in a cupcake? Number one, first and foremost, and the reason why I got red velvet, is because for red velvet, the frosting matters more than anything. If you have a good cream cheese frosting, it can cover up a lot of things. So I rank frosting way up here, and then kind of down here is the actual cake portion. So I look for a moist cake, as do most people. I even prefer a claggy cake, which is, I believe, what Paul Hollywood says. I like a little denser of a cake, but that's just my own personal taste. And then I guess I'm looking for presentation, but a cupcake is a cupcake. This one is a little more decorative than this one, but if this one tastes better, then that's what I'm going to go for. Impressions of Kerrytown Cupcake. Frosting is really good. It's not quite as heavily frosted as some of these other ones. Now, it could just be because this one took the biggest fall during the great big bag tumble of earlier today. Cake is a little dry, I'm not going to lie, but the frosting's very good. And I believe that would be a very good baseline. As we move on to Moe's Mini Cake. This is, as you can see, a mini cake. It's not quite as red as the other ones. I don't know what that means. I don't think that red velvet cake is naturally red, but if it is, this one doesn't have that key ingredient of blood. I don't know. Let's find out. Very different flavor. It's a good flavor. Very different. It's a little more moist, a little more dense than Kerrytown Cupcake, but it wasn't cream cheese frosting. It was its own kind of buttercream frosting. And it was good. Not exactly what I'm looking for in a red velvet cake, though, if I'm honest with you. That tasted much more like a vanilla frosting on chocolate cupcake. Good. Not red velvet. Apparently the red is what makes a red velvet. That's where they keep all their flavor. Pearl's Bake Shop is the one I was looking forward to most because this one is the most heavily frosted and it smelled the best. I also had to lick a little bit of the frosting off in order to make it nice and even so I could actually pick it up and give you a sneak preview. Frosting's pretty good, but let's see how it is together in one big bite. Oh. Wow. Okay. We're cooking with gas now. This is a really good cupcake. The cake is as cakey as cake can be. Perfectly moist, nice and crumbly where you want it. Very spongy, delightful to chew into. Cream cheese frosting is cream cheesy enough, but not overly cream cheesy because not a lot of people like that, but perfectly sweet. This is a delicious cupcake. For whatever reason, they only have a 4.1 on Google reviews. It's over on the West End. It's really good. I really recommend Pearl's Bake Shop so far. This is my favorite of the red velvet cakes. And this might actually win out. Because these other cupcakes are, well, that's not even a cupcake. Definitely beats that in terms of, is this a cupcake more than whisk? Yes. Pearl's Bake Shop makes a cupcake more cupcakey than whisk makes a muffin. Counts for something. We move on to this contraption. Now this is very odd. It looks like it was a cupcake that was just sort of flattened and coated in chocolate. Also looks a little hat-like, so this earns points in that department if you demand all your food to also look like a hat. It's a dipped cupcake. It's dipped in chocolate from the West Hampton Bakery, also in the West End. This is very close to Lily's. Pearls, not Lily's. That's not really a cupcake. It's really good, but the texture is much more sponge cakey. Not a cupcake. Delicious though. Definitely more of a pastry. It's like angel food cake, which is not really a cake. Is it? I don't know. Good. Not a cupcake. I guess it's a little more cupcake than muffin. I guess a cupcake is a bald muffin, or a muffin is a bald cupcake. What happens if I lick the frosting off of your cupcake? You got muffin. Ah. Now this is the boozy cupcake. I don't know what booze they put in here, but it's cookies and cream mixed with something. Let's find out. Okay, that's not bad. I have been here before, and I got to admit, they've drastically improved. Before when I went there, they just sort of made a cupcake and then dumped Hennessy on it. So it was a wet cupcake. This seems a little bit more reasonable. There's like a little taste of alcohol, but it's not wet. You don't want a wet cupcake. A moist cupcake is fine. Soggy is no good. This ain't soggy. This is actually quite delicious. And I gotta say, that little booze adds like a little bit of a bitter bite to what would normally be a very, very, very sweet treat. But it adds a bit of a bite. This is tremendous, actually. I highly recommend the cookies and cream. Is it better than Lily Pearls? Lily Pearls. Is it better than Pearls? I don't know. It's really good, though. And this is especially good considering I wasn't expecting much. Good job, Tipsy Bakery. You stepped up your game. Finally, for Whisk. Now, the reason I even went with Whisk, even though they didn't have any cupcakes, is one, I was already there. I made the trek out there. And two, this is kind of considered one of the best bakeries in Richmond. So let's see what they got. That is a delicious muffin. What I have learned is that it is a truly apples to orange. A muffin has nothing in common with a cupcake. It is not the same food group. This is a vegetable, and this is a dessert. Very good. We're going to remove the Whisk from contention and maybe do some muffin on muffin battles in the future. I recommend their muffin, though, especially considering their croissant was a little underwhelming when I had it. Which one's the best one? So, Kerrytown Cupcakes had the dancing. Unfortunately, that's not going to help them here in the taste test. West Hampton, this is not really a cupcake. This is more of its own angel food cake pastry kind of thing. Very good. And as much as I like the boozy cupcake concept, and as good as it is, I think I gotta go with Pearl's Bakery. I set out looking for a red velvet cupcake. This is the best one that I've had of the bunch. Tipsy is a very, very strong second, though. I was not expecting this, especially considering my last experience. I'm wondering what else they'll cook up in the future. So, who makes the best red velvet cupcake in all of Richmond? I'm going to say Pearl's Bake Shop over in the West End. And now, I'm going to invite my friends, whose house I'm shooting at, to come enjoy some cupcakes too. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week.